The Sakura tree had stopped shedding petals. It stood motionless under the moonlight, like it too was holding its breath. Hana sat at the edge of the garden pond, her knees drawn close to her chest. The water reflected the stars, but she didn't look up. Her eyes were on her reflection, rippling with every breeze. Ethan sat beside her, careful not to break the silence. He finally spoke. "You stopped calling me by name." She didn't respond. "It used to be Ethan. You're stepping on moss." Or Ethan, "That's not how you pour the tea." Now it's just nothing. She exhaled. "You're not from here." He tilted his head. "I never claimed to be." "That's the problem," she murmured. "You come, you feel, you leave. People like me, we stay. We carry the weight." Ethan leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You think I haven't lost things too?" She turned to him, her voice sharper now. "You lost a mother. I'm losing everything. My name, my family, my home, and I'm expected to smile and pour tea while it all crumbles." Ethan flinched, but didn't argue. Instead, he reached into his bag and handed her a photograph. An old, worn Polaroid, a cherry blossom, blurred, taken by someone inexperienced. "My mom's first photo of Sakura. She told me once, beauty isn't about focus. It's about feeling." He looked at her. "I think I finally get it." Hana held the photo, her fingers trembling. "I didn't want to fall for someone like you," she whispered. "Someone who leaves. I didn't mean to stay," he said gently. "But then, there was you." She looked up, eyes glassy. "You really think this ends well?" Ethan reached out, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "No, but maybe it doesn't have to end." She didn't pull away. Instead, she leaned her head against his shoulder. "I'm tired," she whispered. "I know." They sat like that, two souls in stillness, surrounded by a garden that might die tomorrow, but was still breathing tonight. The sun had barely risen when Ethan and Hana found themselves standing in front of the Takahashi family home. The weather was cold, but not enough to hide the tension in the air. Every breath felt heavy, as though the weight of their choices was already pressing down on them. Hana's father had already been informed of the situation. Tatsuya's forces were closing in, and the end was near. Ethan wasn't sure if he was fighting for the garden anymore or for Hana, but standing here, he knew it was all or nothing. "Hana," Ethan whispered, turning to face her. She was wearing her usual composed mask, but he could see the cracks. Her lips trembled slightly. Her hands were clenched into fists at her sides. "I can't do this," she said quietly, her voice fragile yet firm. "I can't stop him, Ethan. I'm not strong enough." "Don't say that," Ethan replied urgently, his voice raw. He placed a hand on her shoulder, trying to meet her eyes. "You are strong. You've been holding the weight of this garden for so long, and you've carried it better than anyone could." Her gaze dropped. The words she wanted to speak stuck in her throat. They had come this far together, yet now, it felt like they were standing at the edge of a cliff. She couldn't afford to fall again, not for herself, not for the garden, and definitely not for Ethan. "I have to make this right. I have to fix the mess I caused," Ethan said, determination in his voice. He took a deep breath and straightened up. "We're not going down without a fight, Hana." But as they moved closer to the front door, Tatsuya was already there, waiting. His cold, calculating eyes met theirs as he stood in the doorway, his hands casually in his pockets. "So this is where we are then?" Tatsuya said, his voice smooth but mocking. "You've really brought this outsider into our family business, Hana?" Hana stood stiffly beside Ethan, unable to look at Tatsuya. "This isn't your decision to make, Tatsuya. The garden belongs to the Takahashi family, not to you or your investors." Tatsuya smirked, unfazed. "It's not about ownership, Hana. It's about survival. Your father's health is deteriorating. You can't keep fighting this fight forever. The resort will pay for his treatment, and it will secure your future. His eyes flicked to Ethan, and his sneer deepened. But of course, if you want to keep chasing fairy tales with this photographer, I'll be happy to let you continue your pointless rebellion. The words cut deep, but Hana didn't flinch. You don't understand what this place means. You don't understand me. Ethan stepped forward, his voice low and fierce. You don't get to threaten her anymore, Tatsuya. If you really cared about this family, you wouldn't have been trying to tear it apart for your own gain. If you want to destroy this garden, you'll have to go through me first. Tatsuya chuckled darkly, eyeing Ethan with a calculating look. You think you can stop me? This is business, not a photo shoot, you fool. But before Ethan could retort, Hana stepped in front of him. Her eyes were filled with tears, but her voice was steady. No, she said, her voice breaking the tension in the air. Ethan's right. You're not welcome here anymore. We don't need your money. We don't need your empty promises. I will fight for this garden, for my family's legacy, even if it means losing everything. Tatsuya's face turned dark, his smile slipping. He moved closer, but there was no more arrogance in his eyes, just the coldness of someone who had already made his decision. You'll regret this, he warned. But go ahead. Fight your losing battle. We'll see who's left standing. Hana took a deep breath, her heart pounding, but her resolve was clear. I don't need to win your battle. I just need to save what matters. As Tatsuya turned to leave, Ethan reached for Hana's hand, gripping it tightly. He leaned close, his voice soft. We'll make it through this, together. And just as Tatsuya disappeared from view, the first petal of the Sakura tree fell from its branches. Its pink hue delicate and fleeting, much like the time they had left. The Sakura tree stood silent beneath the twilight, its petals swaying softly in the wind like whispered prayers. Hana sat beneath it, knees drawn to her chest, as if grounding herself to the very roots that connected her to generations past. Ethan paced nearby, phone in hand. They're moving faster than we thought, he muttered, frowning at the latest email he received. Construction permits, investors, it's all in motion. Hana didn't respond. Her silence was weightier than any words she could say. Hey, Ethan finally said, crouching beside her. There's still time. We can delay this. We just need more coverage. I can reach out to the magazine in Tokyo again. Get them to feature the Sakura and its heritage. Maybe we can... I'm tired of fighting shadows. Hana cut in, her voice low and hollow. Even if the magazine publishes the story, it won't stop them. Tatsuya's already turning my father against me. He tells him I'm being emotional, that I'm blinded by nostalgia. And maybe I am. Ethan turned to her, his expression softening. No, you're not. You're doing what no one else dared to do. Protect what actually matters. It's not weakness, it's strength. But we're losing. Hana's voice cracked. And soon you'll have to leave. The truth in her words landed hard. Ethan looked away, jaw tense. My visa expires in 2 weeks, he admitted. I'm trying everything I can to extend it, but I can't make promises. There was silence again, heavy and aching. Then Hana looked at him, eyes shimmering under the fading light. Why are you still here? He met her gaze, his voice gentle. Because I fell in love with this place, with what it stands for, and maybe with someone who refuses to give up even when the world tells her to. Hana inhaled sharply, heart pounding. Ethan reached for her hand, his thumb brushing hers. I made a mistake posting that photo. I won't pretend I didn't, but I will stay and help you fix this, until the last second I'm allowed to. Not just because I owe you, but because I want to. You matter to me, Hana, more than any photograph I've ever taken. Her defenses crumbled then. The quiet pain, the guilt, the overwhelming fear. all of it poured from her in a single tear sliding down her cheek. What if I can't save it? Then we'll make sure the world remembers what it once was, he said. Together, Hana leaned her head against his shoulder, and they sat beneath the Yozakura tree, a moment suspended in the stillness of the wind. They didn't have answers yet, but they had each other, and sometimes that was where change began.